Aaron Boone announced a couple of hours ago that outfielder Clint Frazier was diagnosed with a concussion. He suffered the injury while making a leaping catch over the weekend. Frazier insisted today that he felt fine, but Boone said he'll likely be out for at least a few more days. Time for Off the Market, brought to you by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. And JD Martinez to the Red Sox is finally officially official as the club introduced the outfielder today in Fort Myers. The deal was thought to be done last week, but there were some snafus with his physical that have been worked out to the tune of a 5-year, $110 million contract. So the Red Sox get the bat they've been looking for all off season, but we will now turn our attention to the starting rotations of Boston and New York. Aaron Boone has told reporters down in Florida he's happy with his rotation as is, even though the Yankees were definitely looking to add an arm in the offseason. So, Andy, how does the Yankees' rotation stack up compared to Boston?
It's an interesting question. You really try to crunch it, and there's a lot of variables for both. The Red Sox rotation, they can say we got Sale, we got Price, we got Drew Pomeranz, but I say Sale was showing some wear and tear at the end of last year. Price has been obviously showing wear and tear and a terrible, sour attitude for a couple of years. Pomeranz could not pitch in the postseason last year. It was a disaster against the Astros. And while I do worry about Severino, Sabathia, and Tanaka, and health-wise, I got to go with the Yankee rotation here, Nelson, simply because you had a group of guys who did it better last year. Now, do I think the Yankees needed to go and get an extra starter? Yes, I do. However, if you look at those two, I just feel like there's more question marks on the Red Sox side. You agree with me?
I'd say this. You look at the Yankees side, and they're a team that can go more on cruise control. They're not going to be max effort every pitch. You go on the Red Sox side, and you look at the way Sale pitches, the way Price pitches, the way Porcello pitches for the most part. Those three guys right there, they're a lot more max effort type guys. And if they're not on, if they're going to not be effectively wild, then you have reasons to worry that they can break down very quickly. I look at those guys like a Tanaka, who, again, he's had an elbow injury for how long since
it's going to go at some point.
You would think it is, but he still finds a way to get through every season and find a way to pitch very well at times. So I think a guy like CC Sabathia, these guys know what they have to do to kind of go through that length of a season. And I do think that 10-day DL and the way to use it and give guys a rest, bring these young kids up and see what they can do once or twice against a team here and there, that's only going to make the Yankees rotation that much stronger come chance to make the postseason.
And the Yankees will add at some point, which is why I would give them an advantage. Here's the thing. I'd take Chris Sale over anybody in either of those rotations. I think he's the best pitcher. I think he's probably one of the most underrated pitchers in all baseball. I know he fell off a little bit last year. To me, the difference is David Price. I mean, if we're talking about David Price with the Rays, then the Red Sox have the advantage. They have the two horses at the top. But David Price with the Red Sox, especially in the postseason, he's no good. He's certainly not worth their contract. So I think I'd go Sale and then probably Severino, even though you need to see a little more from Severino. But the Yankees will add, and because I don't trust David Price, I think I'd go with the Yankees.
Sal, did you just say that you're a better playoff pitcher than David Price?
No,
is that what I just heard?
That was 3 teams ago, that David Price. You want a Tampa Bay David Price. That's 3
I'll
teams.
take the Toronto David Price.
But we've been saying since December that the Yankees are going to add, and they haven't added. And as you pointed out, that Severino's coming off a record amount of pitches. So at what point does Brian Cashman add, or do you wait, then do you have to add, and then the price goes up?
Hey, look, I think he should have already. I think it's a clear hole going there. And you could argue this and say, look at those 5 names, and Jordan Montgomery's a solid number 5. But as we're all saying, there's just enough questions about these guys. And Cashman was trying. He wanted Garrett Cole. He's just being protective of his farm system. But they do have the budget to add in season to have that Sonny Gray trade happen again, whoever happens to be available this time. And I think they probably will.
I think you look at also the guys that are available and the prices keep coming down.
Lynn,
I don't see it going to be where they have to overpay. Right now, the market's still coming down, and guys are wanting to stand pat. It's hard to stand pat when you start getting into, week 3 of games and you still don't have a job and you're not with a team. You kind of might take that deal, and maybe it's less years just to get it in a uniform, and you could see the Yankees striking it big on a guy like, Cobb or one of those guys.